Alright guys, so I finally got my Elgato HD game capture all set up. Here is the program and what it looks like when your Xbox is connected. First things first that I found was helpful is going into this little thing, the settings up here, and changing your location, the location of where your files, your videos go, to a desktop folder or something where you know, instead of it just putting it randomly somewhere on the C drive, because it took me a while to find that file, and just right off the bat you should know that you should probably do that. And then for this right here, the always convert newly recorded videos to MP4 1080p. That will give you the best quality. If you leave it at original, it won't be as good as this. And that's pretty much it for that. Now for the settings for the actual capture card itself, it all really varies on what you want for your preferences. Like if you have a lot of memory free, like I have 1200 gigs free, I'm gonna record at the best of everything that I can do, which is 227 megabytes a minute, which for like a 15-minute video is like 4 gigs. So I don't know if you have that much room on your computer, but if you do, feel free to follow exactly what I do. So right here you can set it to Xbox, PlayStation, iPad, or other. I'm recording from an Xbox, so I'm going to hit Xbox. And then if you're recording from HDMI, hit HDMI, or component, hit component. That's pretty self-explanatory, but it won't work. Like if I hit component and I have an HDMI in, it won't work, so make sure that that's set right. For the color range, standard or expanded. Expanded would give you better results than standard, but it's all preference really. But you should use expanded no matter what, really, honestly. So and here's where the size of the video comes into play. For the Xbox, as we all know or should know, it doesn't actually play games at a full 1080p resolution. What it does is it stretches a 720p resolution to fit into the 1080p. So if you put it at 720, it will give you similar results, almost unnoticeable differences. But if you want, you can put it on the HD 1080 just for the little bump in quality that is very minuscule, but still a bump nonetheless. And for the quality, you can set it to whatever you want. I set it to best. So if you do this and that, it ends up giving you 227 megabytes a minute, which is a lot. You can get it down to like 25 megabytes a minute, but it won't be that I mean, it will be good. Don't get me wrong, it'll be good, but it won't be the best. Make sure that these are both checked off, especially preserved source format. You don't want the source to go out of whack or anything like that. Now this is all preference right here. For my brightness, I have it at 0. I'm probably going to lower it a little bit because I noticed on some of the videos I've recorded there's a border that's supposed to be black and it's not exactly black, so I'll probably end up lowering that. The contrast I have set at 6, the saturation at 51, and the hue at 0. And you'll see what these settings look like further in the video. One thing that is an awesome feature of the Elgato is that it's always constantly recording a stream from your Xbox as long as it's connected. So that's why I told you right here to set this to somewhere where you know, because just to show that it's not, it'll eat up the memory while it's on, but once you exit out of the program, those temporary files will be deleted, because that was a big concern of mine. I was like, are these files just taking up memory on my computer, or what's going on? So until you hit the record button, nothing will happen. Once you hit record, it'll make a permanent file in the folder that you set. And once that's done, you go into the edit, and right here it'll show a little processing box. When you hit stop and you go over into this, you have to wait for that to end processing before you can go into the video, which would be located for me right here. So and that's when the video will be able to play. Like this is a video just from earlier, just to show that it works. So And the actual program itself, the only thing you can really do is cut things in half and delete parts. So like right here, if I want to cut that, I just hit cut and then I hit delete, and that deletes that part, and now it starts from where I cut it from. And then you just export it in MP4 1080p for the best quality, or MP4 original, it doesn't matter. You can also upload from here to YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, which is kind of cool, but most people want to edit their videos in Sony Vegas, so that's a useful thing, but not useful for me. And that's pretty much all the settings that I have for my Elgato. If you follow the settings exactly how I have them in the video, this is how your gameplay should end up being. Like the shadows and the darks and everything came out like very nice and very detailed, and this quality is just amazing for a capture card, especially something so small. Like if you notice, the Elgato is very small compared to the PVR, because all the encoding is done by the computer and everything, and I can't compare this to the PVR2 because I don't own one, but I'm gonna have to say that this quality is pretty spot on and very good, so I'm overall very impressed with my purchase. What I'm gonna do is compare the HD PVR1, the original one, the first capture card that I have, to this one, just to show you if it's even worth upgrading, or if you should stay where you are at. So here's the Elgato HD and the PVR1 side by side. The PVR is a little bit brighter. That's just a settings thing that I had going on with the original software of the Hauppauge. But if you notice, the shadows and the dark like textures of the Elgato are a lot more like they show a lot more in the Elgato compared to the HD PVR. The shadows in the PVR kind of just like blend together, and the sharp edges are sort of just like there. You can really see the definition with the Elgato, which is a major reason why I got it, just because I wanted that extra bump in quality. But honestly, if you wanted a huge difference between the HD PVR1 and the Elgato, you're not going to notice anything major. The only reason why I got the Elgato HD was so that I could play with an HDMI cable, because I was getting sick and tired of the component cables always getting in the way and stuff. With the setup that I have, it's 2 wires and then 1 wire hooked up to my computer. It's extremely simple. The Elgato is small, and it's honestly form factor is why I got it, and the extra small bump in quality that I got is also another thing. So overall, the quality is better than the HD PVR, but if you're on the fence of whether you should upgrade or not, I'd say hold out, because the PVR one is good enough for the quality that you would need with a Xbox 360. Maybe in the future when the new Xboxes come out, or if you want to record with the Wii, then get the Elgato, but by then something else bigger and better will be out. So save your money if you can, but if you have to have it, it's definitely a product worth buying.